Hey, have you ever had something that you own and is precious to you and all of a sudden it changed colors? Yeah. Oh, hey there, it's Lori Lindsay, and it's Thursday, so it's Spooky Story Thursday. And for those of you that just met me, I'm a spiritual teacher, I'm an author, and I'm an intuitive medium. But I have weird shit that happens to me. And this is my place that I can share it. So, I had a rosary. I was very Catholic growing up, very Catholic. In fact, I was so Catholic, I was a Catholic school principal at one time. Which, there are mystic things about the Catholic Church, and I think that's what I gravitated towards, because the mysticism and spiritualism, there's some overlap. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm not trying to make spiritualism Catholicism. I'm just explaining my path. Anyways, so I had this rosary, and this rosary had gold links in between. It was a pink rosary, and the links, the fake metal, it wasn't gold. It was, something colored golden. And my aunt and uncle went to Medjugorje, Yugoslavia, which, if you're unfamiliar, the Virgin Mary has been spotted there giving messages to children. But by the time they went, these children were probably in their 20s, so it had been happening a while, and it had become a center of where Catholics were going on spiritual journeys, okay? So they had taken a few trips, and then they said to a group of people, if you want to bring anything to be blessed, and I thought, sure, why don't you take my rosary? And so it left as a pink beaded, golden linked rosary. And when they returned a few weeks later, I stopped by to pick up my rosary, and she handed it to me, and I said, oh, this isn't my rosary, because my rosary had golden links and this has silver links. And she said, no, Lori, we hardly had any things, they didn't have boxes of stuff they brought. It's just a few people that brought some things. She's like, this is the only pink beaded rosary. So I don't know what you're talking about. So my rosary returned with it was now a silver toned rosary. How did that happen? I don't know. To me, and at the time I said, it's because it was blessed. It was blessed by the universe. At the time I said God and Jesus and the Blessed Mary, which I still am a follower of Jesus and Mary. I'm just not a follower of the patriarchal Christian religion. Okay? So how did that happen? How did that happen? It's paranormal. It's a glitch in the matrix. It's a spooky story, however you want to frame it. But those type of things happen to people. And that's what happened to me and my rosary. Do I know where my rosary is today? No, actually I don't, come to think about it. But what I'm saying is that things like that happen, and people notice them and they immediately want to push them down. So this is what I do. I actually work in the spiritual world. I work with women who are midlife making decisions to move on. But part of my work is recognizing that the spiritual stuff that's out there, we're already experiencing. I didn't get just special gifts, and they're only gifts for Lori to notice these things. They're also gifts for all of you. And, settling your nervous system to listen beneath the noise, those things start coming in. You start having experiences. And if you don't push them down and say, oh, that can't happen, that's too weird, then they'll happen for you. If you want to know more, I do have a podcast. My most recent podcast is Glitches in the Matrix. Are they really happening, or are we just aware enough to see them right now? And I'm starting to notice some orbs around me, which gives me confirmation that the message is getting out. So do you have a story like that? Do you have something you want to share? Post it in the comments. And I may pick you as somebody that I will highlight their story in a future spooky story episode. Hope you're having a blessed day.